You ever see something so strange, so out of place, it just hits you like a punchline in a story you never meant to star in? That's what happened to me the night I found a bride in a white dress, alone, shivering, mascara streaked down her face, sitting on a stone bench in Law Park as snow started to fall. My daughter Charlotte was with me, 7 years old and wise in the way kids get when life makes them grow up a little too fast, and she tugged my sleeve, whispering, "Daddy, I think that lady's crying." You know, sometimes you end up exactly where you're meant to be by accident, like kindness hunting you down when you're just trying to get through another day. I hadn't planned on being out after dark, but that December air, alpine and cold, and the kind of winter wetness that creeps into your bones made every sound in the world seem softer. We just left Sarah's grave, our monthly ritual, my late wife, Charlotte's mom. It always left a hole in me, but Charlotte, she kept chattering, skipping along beside me, telling stories about school, her hand small and warm in mine. She remembered her mama mostly in pieces, the way she smelled, bedtime stories, her hair getting braided before school. I always took us the long way home, skirting the playground where other families laughed, because sometimes quiet is all you can handle. But there she was, this bride on a bench, white silk against bare black branches, the kind of sight you can't pretend not to see. Charlotte, never shy, asked why her prince didn't show, and I felt my heart twist. Grief recognizes itself, even across a cold park, and I should have kept walking, but Charlotte was insistent, and honestly, I was already peeling off my cardigan before I even thought it through. "Angels need jackets, too," she whispered, echoing something Sarah used to say. "That's the sort of thing that knocks the wind out of you." Next thing I knew, we were standing in front of the woman. She looked up, early 30s, dark hair escaping its pins, eyes hollow like mine had been for months after losing Sarah. She tried to apologize, said she'd leave, but Charlotte, God bless her, told her, crying in a wedding dress in the snow isn't fine at all. That almost made the woman laugh, and for a second, something like trust flickered in her eyes. She took my cardigan, hands trembling, and I sat down at the far end of the bench. Charlotte plopped between us, the snow and rain hushing the world. We made awkward introductions. Her name was Natalie. She was supposed to be married that day. Charlotte, blunt as always, asked, "So what happened to your prince?" Natalie stared at her hands and told us she'd run. Just couldn't do it. Couldn't pretend to be okay when she wasn't. She'd slipped out the church's back door and wandered here, a place she used to come as a kid. I told her, softly, my own story. Sarah, cancer, 3 years a widower, living half alive. Natalie offered sympathy, and I did the same, not even knowing what I was sorry for yet. Charlotte, with her innocent logic, asked, "Did your prince turn out to be a frog?" That broke some of the tension. Natalie half smiled and said, something like that. My daughter kept talking, she always does, about how grown-ups mess up, but it's better to figure it out before the wedding, not after. That made Natalie laugh for real, and the ice started to crack. But then, real pain surfaced. Natalie told us about losing a baby, 6 months along, a year and a half ago. Her fiancé, David, just wanted to move forward, but she couldn't. "I failed the one person I was supposed to protect," she whispered, and I saw Charlotte reach out and squeeze her hand. "It's wild, the way kids cut through all the layers," Charlotte said. "Your baby is still yours," and Natalie just nodded, like she was realizing it for the first time. We sat a while, the park growing colder and darker. For once, I didn't feel so alone in my grief. When it was time to leave, Natalie admitted she had nowhere to go. Her apartment felt like a battlefield she wasn't ready for, not with David waiting. I surprised myself by offering her our couch for the night. She protested, but Charlotte chimed in, "We have extra toothbrushes." And that was that. Driving home, Natalie staring out at the soft-lit houses and snow, I could see her seeing the world as if it was new, maybe a little safer than it felt a few hours earlier. At our place, Charlotte dragged her off to see her room, her book about a princess who saves herself, and Natalie followed, something gentle flickering in her tired eyes. The house felt different, fuller somehow. Later, sitting on the porch watching the rain, I got a text from David, sharp, impatient, calling Natalie fragile and demanding she come home. I just deleted it. Some folks never get it. Inside, I found Natalie at Charlotte's bedside, still in my cardigan, brushing my daughter's hair with such care it made my chest ache. We ended up sitting on opposite ends of the couch, quiet, two people carrying too much pain. She said she should call David, but didn't want to. She was tired of pretending. I told her something Sarah used to say: grief isn't something you get over, it's something you learn to carry. Natalie said David never understood why she couldn't bounce back, why losing Emma Rose changed everything. I said she shouldn't have to pretend it didn't. She teared up, told me no one had ever just stayed with her through the hard parts. Before I could stop myself, I said, "You have it tonight." She smiled, tears shining, and thanked me. Sometimes, connection is just that simple: two broken people letting themselves be seen. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of laughter, Natalie and Charlotte making butterfly-shaped pancakes, math homework turning into some kind of game. Natalie had taught kindergarten before her world shattered. Charlotte, matter of fact as always, said, "That's okay. Daddy got too sad to do stuff for a while too." It struck Natalie, my daughter's wisdom. When Charlotte left for school, Natalie started talking about leaving, dealing with her old life. I told her she didn't have to rush. She looked at me like she was hearing that for the first time. That afternoon, we walked the neighborhood, snow just starting to melt. We passed Mrs. Williams, our neighbor, out fussing over her winter garden, Sarah's old passion. Natalie confessed she'd loved gardening once, dreamed of a children's garden before everything fell apart. I said our backyard was waiting if she wanted to plant something new. She protested that she barely knew me. "You're kind of kids, brave enough to run from the wrong life. And you make my daughter laugh." I said, "What else do I need to know?" She called me crazy, but there was hope in her voice. That evening, everything changed. David showed up, all suit and sharp edges, pushing past me like he owned the world. He called Natalie fragile, accused me of manipulating her, talked about money, about being humiliated in front of 300 people. Natalie shrank, apologizing out of habit, but when he demanded she leave with him, something in her snapped. "No," she said, first softly, then stronger. David called her broken, said she needed help, not this nonsense. Charlotte, never afraid, piped up. "Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is tell the truth, even when it's scary." David called it all inappropriate, but I told him the only thing inappropriate was treating Natalie like something to be fixed. Natalie finally said what she needed. "I'm done pretending. If you can't love who I am now, you never loved me at all." David left, shaking his head, saying he wouldn't be waiting. Natalie sank to the couch, shaking but alive. "How does it feel?" I asked. "Terrifying, but free." Charlotte hugged her, proud as could be. "That's because you aren't pretending anymore," she said. 3 months later, spring rolled around. I watched Natalie and Charlotte plan a garden for Emma, for Sarah, for all the parts of us that hurt and healed. The gold band on Natalie's finger, simple, honest, mine caught the sunlight, and Charlotte insisted she give Natalie a friendship bracelet because families can grow in the most unexpected ways. Natalie laughed when Charlotte asked if she was sad not to wear a big white dress this time. "I'd rather have a quiet ceremony with the people who matter," she said. Sometimes, the most beautiful things grow out of places that have been broken. Sometimes families form from strangers on a cold park bench. As I stood there, Charlotte planting flower spots for Mama and Emma, I realized we'd built something stronger than before. Not perfect, not the same, but ours. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. So, what do you think? Does real love mean moving on? Or is it about growing something new from the soil of what you lost? Let me know below, because, honestly, there's no right answer. Maybe you've got your own story of kindness changing everything. I'd love to hear it.